Welcome to Hannity. Buckle up. Tonight, the Democratic Party is officially, we'll call it a dumpster fire of far-left radicalism, spinning in 1,000 different directions, clamoring for impeachment fantasies, more subpoena stunts, and, of course, far-left socialism, the likes of which would destroy this country. Well, now tonight, the president, he is standing strong against this never-ending harassment, and he now has vowed to fight every single step in the way, the right thing to do. We have full coverage just ahead. But first, Operation Crossfire Hurricane is now officially morphed into Crossfire Boomerang for the Clintons, the Democrats, and all these deep state actors that abuse power. Now, the spotlight shines brighter on her bought and paid for Russian lies, along with major new developments tonight surrounding the notorious email server, yes, involving Barack Obama. Yes, Anthony Weiner. We're going to give you all the details. We start with an even bigger development of the tinfoil hat conspiracy media mob, what they haven't told you about, because we are learning from the Washington Examiner tonight. Robert Mueller's report contains a claim that Russians recorded then-President Bill Clinton having phone sex with Monica Lewinsky back in the 1990s. Wow. The explosion allegedly, reportedly, is in the redacted report released to the public. Not there, but it's in the redacted section. According to sources talking to the Examiner, the redaction comes on page 109 of Mueller's report and references a meeting between Jared Kushner and a Russian publisher where he detailed this claim. Now, remember, Ken Starr, in his 1998 report, identified at least 17 phone sex calls conversation between 1996 and 97 and wrote that President Clinton, quote, suspected that a foreign embassy was tapping his telephone. But he did it anyway, even proposing, quote, cover stories to Lewinsky if it turned out they were actually being monitored. Now, so far, the special counsel, the Department of Justice, they're refusing to comment. But wouldn't it be something? Year of the Boomerang? Operation Boomerang, not Hurricane? After all the media hysteria surrounding Trump and Russia and Stormy, the lies, the conspiracy theories, the phony dossier, Uranium One, that it was the Clintons who were totally compromised all along, and everything they were accusing Trump of was actually true about them. And we already know the Clinton campaign were the ones colluding with the Russians. Yes, they paid for a dirty Steele dossier. Yeah, with Russian lies. Hillary, she was the one that used the private secret server that put our national security at risk. We believe 6 foreign intelligence agencies hacked into that. And even now, the story is taking a bigger turn. According to Judicial Watch, former senior FBI official Bill Priestap admitted under oath in court-ordered discovery that the agency found Clinton email records from her private server in the Obama White House, specifically the executive office, that's right, of President Obama. Now, again, we ask, what did Obama know and when did he know it? We're the first to ask it. We do need an answer. The story doesn't stop there because we also have confirmation tonight that nearly 49,000 Clinton emails were found on Anthony Weiner's laptop. And who wants to guess? They all weren't about grandkids, yoga, a wedding, and a funeral, as she claimed. So what does this all mean? That Barack Obama now appears to be more firmly implicated in the Clintons' email scheme than previously thought. Remember, they talked about, one high-ranking administration official. We know Obama emailed Hillary on a private server. And the great irony in all this is that Hillary still thinks she did nothing wrong. But is she sure that President Trump, she's certain he obstructed justice. You can't make this up. Take a look.
Any other person who had engaged in those acts would certainly have been indicted, but because of the rule in the Justice Department that you can't indict a sitting president, as I read it, basically what I thought it was saying is, look, we think he obstructed justice. Here are 11 examples of why we think he obstructed justice, but we're under the control of the Justice Department, and their rule is you can't indict.
Wow. Now, Clinton doubled down on her delusion in an op-ed published earlier today in the Washington Post, writing, quote, Congress can't forget that the issue today is not just the president's possible obstruction of justice, it's our national security. Really? Now, before calling for a new commission to guard against further cyber attacks, because, quote, the president of the United States has proven himself unwilling to defend our nation from a clear and present danger. How could any one individual be this out of touch or this disconnected from reality? Now, first off, Hillary, the Attorney General made the determination, along with the Office of Legal Counsel, Rod Rosenstein, without even considering, as you said, whether or not you can indict a sitting president. That determination was made without that the evidence did not support any charge of obstruction. And by the way, no underlying crime like your case. Now, this directly from the Attorney General. Quote, our determination was made without regard to and is not based on the constitutional considerations that surround the indictment and criminal prosecution of a sitting president. If you want to talk about any other person, let's talk about your obstruction, Hillary, your violation of the Espionage Act. You're putting America's national security at risk. Remember, we have overwhelming, incontrovertible evidence of your mishandling of top secret classified information on a private server. Even Comey admitted you had it. And remember, top FBI lawyer James Baker, general counsel of the FBI, thought you should be indicted. There's incontrovertible evidence of obstruction. Why did you destroy 33,000 emails and then bleach pit the hard drive and destroy the smartphones with hammers and remove the SIM cards? Oh, that means intent. The intent was to get rid of the evidence because of the underlying crime, the Espionage Act, 18 U.S.C. 793. But of course, the media ignores all of this, the corruption, the abuse of power, what is a two-tier justice system. Because don't forget about all the other Clinton corruption involving Russia. Remember Bill Cash again? How you doing? On Moscow speeches during the Iranian One deal, twice his fee. Hillary signed off on that deal. The kickbacks from the people involved in that deal, $145 million. Even while it was known Putin had thugs in America, we had a spy in his ring in America. Remember? We interviewed him, William Campbell. Bribery, extortion, money laundering, kickbacks, trying to get a foothold in our uranium market. William Campbell was on this show. He exposed it. That's real collusion, and that's real obstruction of justice, which we'll have more of in a minute as we turn to our Hannity Media Watch reality check. Now, with no credibility left to lose, well, the media mob, their lies exposed, and an avalanche of truth cascading down in the days, weeks, and months ahead. So what do? They're actually patting themselves on the back for their great coverage of Trump and Russia. They were wrong so often, almost every day. And they ignored the biggest abuse of power, the biggest story they could have ever had in their life. But we were here doing their job for them. Take a look.
I can't imagine that we'll ever do anything harder than that. I'm so proud of our coverage. NBC News, I mean, it's the best of the best.
The other thing this report did is that it really corroborated a lot of the good journalism that was done.
Time and again in this Mueller report, reporting from major news outlets is confirmed in this Mueller report as being accurate.
How did that guy just get an award and a book deal? You can't make this up. They love themselves. They have no capacity for introspection, self-reflection, self-criticism, accountability. How many times on this show have we exposed over and over and over again their lies, their conspiracy theories, list after list, fake news story after fake news story, all the all-stars at their worst? Now, where's the media? Where they're really going to lose this whole thing and all this. Soon we will have more closed-door testimony coming out, proving we've been right all along. They've been wrong. We'll have the Attorney General Barr now has said he's launched an investigation into spying into the Trump campaign and all matters surrounding the investigation, a witch hunt against the sitting president, criminal referrals from Congressman Nunes, the Horowitz, the FISA investigation. It's going to be interesting. Hillary's Russian bought and paid for lies. Yeah. The 302s, leaking intelligence, unmasking Americans. Also, look what they did to Carter Page. Spies, Stefan Halper, checking in on Clovis, Page, and Papadopoulos. All these things that were obtained using Hillary's bought and paid for dossier, never verified, never corroborated, created, according to the New York Times this week, it might have all been one big disinformation campaign. And we'll also get Gang of Eight information. Now, whether the media mob likes this or not, this avalanche is real. And truth and justice are coming. And all will be held accountable. especially with the president, who is standing strong and fighting back against the Democrats. They can't let it go. Now, after the president was the most cooperative president in history, not once ever invoking executive privilege. He did have the right under Article 2 to fire Mueller, Rosenstein. He could have done it. He didn't, just because he said, oh, these people are horrible, need to be fired. He didn't do it, did he? It's like they talked about secretly recording a president, invoking the 25th Amendment. They thought about it, talked about it, didn't do it. Now, with their latest being, of course, in Congress, their bid to bring in former White House counsel Don McGahn for testimony. Why was he ever allowed to talk for 30 hours in the first place? I don't get that. That was an executive privilege moment. Listen to the president earlier today. He's fighting back.
Well, the subpoena is ridiculous. I have been the most transparent president and administration in the history of our country by far. We just went through the Mueller witch hunt, where you had really 18 angry Democrats that hate President Trump. They hate him with a passion. They were contributors in many cases to Hillary Clinton. Hate him with a passion. How they picked this panel, I don't know. And they came up with no collusion, and they actually also came up with no obstruction. Well, we're fighting all the subpoenas. Look, these aren't like impartial people. The Democrats are trying to win 2020. They're not going to win with the people that I see.
Just like we've been telling you on this program, Democrats, their cohorts, their willing accomplices, the media mob, they will stop at nothing to make every waking moment a public trial against Donald Trump and anyone who likes Donald Trump. Smelly Walmart people like us, irredeemable deplorables. We cling to God, our guns, our Bibles, religion. Wow. Okay. That's what you think of the American people, the heart and soul of this country? No concern for the law, doctrine of executive privilege, Constitution, facts, reality. They push collusion, hysteria for 3 years, 4 times now. 4 times, no collusion. No concern with any agenda to make this country better, more safe, more prosperous, more secure. You just want to continue to fight the president every minute, every second of every day on anything because you're consumed with your anti-Trump rage. You've ignored, you idiots, the biggest abuse of power corruption scandal in our nation's history. And you've ignored an effort to take down a duly elected president and rigging an investigation into a political candidate and trying to rig a 2016 election. You ignored the most pressing issues that are facing this country. Everything from the economy, foreign policy, diplomacy, the safety and security at our borders, for crying out loud. Bringing us tonight to a Hannity watch on the southern border. There is a total system meltdown, and it's real and it's not manufactured. Illegal immigration is surging. Border Patrol had near-record apprehensions in March. U.S. border personnel, they are overwhelmed. Drug traffickers, cartels, human traffickers, they are exploiting this weakness of not having a wall hour by hour. Look at this new footage from Border Patrol showing heavily armed men taking migrants across our border, highlighting what we have been saying for months, frankly, years on this show. Strong border security first, a wall first. It makes people on both sides safer. No one should have to go through this. We need to ensure the safety, the security of the country first, and also protect those migrants who are being exploited by evil people and trafficked through Central America and Mexico, and the horrible crimes committed oftentimes along the way. We have to hold foreign governments accountable. Thankfully, we have a president continuing to get that message, and he's not giving up the fight. He tweeted a response to a report about Mexican soldiers pulling guns on our National Guard. Really? Better not happen again, the president said. We're now sending armed soldiers to the border in Mexico. It's not doing nearly enough in apprehending and returning. Now, the crisis is real. It's intensifying. And I think in large part because, well, in Central America and Mexico, they actually believe the president. They see the wall being built and the repairs being made. And the president now has the money.